Triple H has been on Corey Graves' podcast After the Bell, and he has said going forward he would like to see WrestleMania to be 2 nights every year. Now, to go into this, he goes on to say that it's his opinion and his opinion only, that he actually enjoyed WrestleMania being over the 2 nights instead of what has become the 8-hour extravaganza. You look at WrestleMania, it was a concert and it's now become a festival that has gone to a week long. You look at it that you've got the Hall of Fame on a Thursday, you've got the SmackDown on the Friday, NXT TakeOver on the Saturday, WrestleMania on the Sunday, and Raw on the Monday. It's already almost a week long already, and he said that he would be in favour of it becoming a 2-night event, WrestleMania, going forward. So the question of this video is it right? Is that the right decision to go when we look at things going forward? What is the right direction for WrestleMania? So let's look at the pros and the cons together, and I want your thoughts in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. This is SCW, the wrestling channel. Thanks to everyone who has been subscribing this week. We've gone past 400 subscribers, so thank you very much. But to look at WrestleMania, it is in stadiums. For the last 10 years, it's been these big stadiums that's held 60, 70, 80,000 people. We've even come to over 100,000 people in Dallas just a few short years ago. And the question is there that could you have a stadium like that 2 nights in a row to have WrestleMania in front of that amount of people? That is a big question mark, because what's they going to do to the ticket prices, to the sales? Yes, for WWE, if they can make that money, that would be fantastic. But I mean, are we being overcharged already? Will the price of the tickets go massively up? What is it like for fans to get in those stadiums? For someone that's not actually been to one of these stadiums at WrestleMania, is it such a nightmare to get into them? I imagine that being, 60, 70, 80,000 people to go into a stadium, that maybe it's a bit of a nightmare to get there. Maybe your seat isn't quite the best. Maybe you're just there for the atmosphere, which is fantastic. But the thing is, though, is the juice worth the squeeze? Will people turn around and say, it's not worth it to do it twice? It's great to do it once, but would I do it twice? You've got to obviously travel to get to the arena, you've got to travel to get away. What is the appropriate location for WrestleMania when you do this? What if you're going to somewhere that's so busy like New York? Is it become where then it's your job to get there? It doesn't matter really. You get there, you get away. What are the outside things of it? Is it a great day to do once, or do you do it like that twice? What is the impact of doing a WrestleMania like that? And like I said, the ticket prices as well. Let's take it if it's in an arena. What if it's somewhere that's, let's take Philadelphia, for example. A lovely arena in Philadelphia. Passionate crowd always in Philly. I mean, not to say the New York market is not passionate. They are as passionate as hell. And WrestleMania fans in particular, you get fans from all over the world. So I'm pretty sure with a number of those, they probably wouldn't mind. If they're going anyway, they would go there. They would get there and then happily go to wherever they need to go and see WrestleMania. It is the passion. They save the whole year to go and do it, and they go over to see it. But you look, though, if it's in that arena environment, would that be easier for people? Would people be more willing to do it? But then at the same time, you look at it and say, well, hang on, is WWE going to lose out on too much money to do it this sort of way? Because they obviously now, instead of having sort of 60, 70,000, you're going back to 20,000. Let's not forget about the crisis of what we're going in right now with the world as it is at this second. You've got to look with everything that financially the world is going to be, it's certainly going to be different when we come out the other side of this. It's certainly going to take a number of years, you would imagine, to recover to the state that we were when we got to the start of this year. So you look at it from those particular points of view and you wonder what is going to be the right avenue. You look at it from a talent perspective and from a show perspective. Being a viewer who sits at home, I enjoy it more this way, and I turn around and say, yeah, there probably is going to be another night of wrestling altogether, and it probably will feel a lot, but I would be more in preference to seeing the show split in half. But the thing is, with WrestleMania, this is where I had a slight inkle with the 2 nights this past year, was that I kind of felt that I looked at it and I thought that there were 2 great shows, but when you split them in half, what become quite a strong, you could argue, a mega card for WrestleMania. There was so many strong matches put on this card. When you split it in half, it becomes 2 good shows, but you've got almost quite a bit of an undercard, maybe 3 matches on each show that you felt perhaps didn't matter. And that makes you wonder then, well, with 16 matches at WrestleMania, do we need that? Maybe we need to go back to the old school. Let's go back to the 90s. Let's go back to the early noughties. There were superstars, big superstars, that didn't make WrestleMania. They'd be lucky if they made the pre-show match. I remember, I believe it was I don't remember which WrestleMania actually it was now. It was either 2003 or 2004. But I remember Rob Van Dam was on the kickoff as a tag team champion, and he wasn't even on the main card of WrestleMania. So you sit there and think, well, Rob Van Dam at that point, you thought he was a shoo-in to be on WrestleMania. And these days, of the level he was at, he was definitely on the card. There was no way he was missing out. I understand that WWE wants to give everybody a payday, but you look at it and say, well, hang on a minute, we've got so many talents here. How can you put all of them on the card? And obviously with the current restrictions, you can't do these battle royals that you used to do. So there's lots of different variables of how to do this. Is it better to have a 10 or 11 match WrestleMania only, and you split it and you have a 1-4-hour show? You have the best of the best, the matches that matter. You take away those throwaway matches that they put on this WrestleMania in the end, and you had, say, from this year's WrestleMania, you had the Drew McIntyre, Brock Lesnar, you had Braun Strowman and Goldberg, you had the Last Man Standing, the Boneyard, Firefly Funhouse match, the ladder match, you had Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, Rhea Ripley, Charlotte, you had the Women's Tag Team Championships, the Raw and SmackDown ones, and you had those important matches all together on one card, and that's it. That's what you got. You got maybe maybe at the worst 4.25-hour show, and you've got the best 10 matches. The matches perhaps have to be shorter, but you look at I reviewed WrestleMania 15 not too long ago. You had about 10 or 11 matches at that WrestleMania, and it was compiled into a less than 3-hour show. Some of the matches were short, but I suppose sometimes less is more, because I was left wanting more. If you get these 20, 30-minute matches, don't get me wrong, I love a classic, but once you've seen that match once and you've seen it go for 20 minutes, I'm not so desperate in need of seeing it again. And I think that's why, if you look back at sort of the Attitude Era, I mean, everyone these days complains about rematch after rematch after rematch. We got it back then. How many times did we see the Hardys versus the Dudleys? Austin versus Angle? We got all those sort of matches thrown together so many times, but the matches were short. So you almost forgave when you were given that match again. And, I think that's maybe a real telling tale of maybe why that would be a good idea going forward when it comes to WrestleMania matches. So I wonder what your point of view is in it. Do you think that we should have a WrestleMania that has the best of the best? Do you like the idea it's split over 2 nights? Do you think WrestleMania should be a week-long event where the Hall of Fame is actually on the Wednesday, and then we have the takeover, takeover arguably could be on the Thursday, because SmackDown is on the Friday, so then we have WrestleMania Saturday and Sunday, and we have Raw on the Monday. That's certainly an idea that we could go down. Or do you want to actually combine NXT TakeOver into WrestleMania, and that way you can put it onto 2 nights? Because then that way you've got the 2 shows as you would have had it. You've got your 5 TakeOver matches, you've got your 10 WrestleMania matches or 11 WrestleMania matches, and you've got a superstar 16-match card. You could have had Gargano versus Ciampa. That was arguably WrestleMania worthy. You had the NXT Women's Championship on this year's WrestleMania. Where was Adam Cole? Why couldn't he had a match at WrestleMania? You would have argued he lives in the Florida area. He deserves it. That would have been a perfect opportunity to put the NXT champion on there. What about having some of those other stars into the card? And that way you really got the best of the best, and you had this mega WrestleMania over the 2 nights. I wonder what your feelings are in the comments below. If I had to pick my favourite from it, I think the 2 best options to do this going forward would be to, rather than change the structure, would be to eliminate the takeover and have the 2-night WrestleMania and have TakeOver built within WrestleMania, and you can have, say, 2 TakeOver matches or 3 TakeOver matches one night and 3 the other, and then split the rest of the WrestleMania card over. I do think that the way that WrestleMania was done this year was more short, more impactful, and I must admit I did overly enjoy it more. So I would prefer, if you're going to have 16 matches, to do it over the 2 nights. I'm not a fan of an 8-hour show, and if you're going to do it into one night, I think you should have your 10 best matches, and you should make sure that they are not the longest matches, and you should put them in together to making a WrestleMania and making it 4 hours long, and at worst you put 1 or 2 matches on the kickoff. And the other thing is, with these kickoffs, a lot of talking, a lot less action, and I personally think that especially, I don't think we should ever have these 2-hour kickoffs ever again for WrestleMania. And if you're going to do kickoffs, I mean, because not everyone's interested in what they've got to say, we tune in but we're not interested, why not have 1 hour of the kickoff where they're talking. No one cares about that part of the kickoff. You get to the second hour of the kickoff, and then that's your free matches that you throw out. You've got 2 free matches in the hour. You do the storyline, but it's like WrestleMania starts, but it's not on the official card. Rather than sitting and going, I've got to watch 2 hours of someone talk where I'm not really interested, and you get 2 matches thrown in random places. You don't even know whereabouts they're going to be put in, and you have to watch the whole 2 hours just to get them 2 matches. That's my personal opinion. I don't know what yours are when it comes to the kickoff, but that's how I feel about it. But that's all from anyway. That's today's video for you here. Ask SCW coming on Sunday, and we'll give you another video tomorrow. Make sure to keep an eye on the channel. Thank you so much for everyone that's been subscribing this week. It's really appreciative. And I'm going to try and keep giving you videos daily for the time being. I've seen that there has been actually, it seems that you guys seem to be enjoying it, and that's what this is done for, is to give you guys some entertainment to watch, and hopefully it fills up a bit of your day if you're stuck in lockdown and you need something or want something to enjoy. Yeah, anyway, thank you for watching, and this has been SCW, the wrestling channel. Is it right to have WrestleMania over 2 nights? I think that it can be if it's done correctly. If not, I think you should make it into one mega show on one night, but not have it as that 8-hour extravaganza that we've had it in recent years. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm very interested to find out. This has been SCW, the wrestling channel, here on YouTube.com. Take care.